Hey, welcome back, robot students. Here we go. We are going to do something new today. All right, this video is going to focus on two things. One, content integration, common content, common robot parts, and two, ways to get parts to mate to each other, to move past each other, or to constrain against each other. Okay, couple things you may notice. If you've looked while we're doing these videos, let's close this out. I've got all these folders from Andy Mark, Go Builda, McMaster, Modern Robotics, Pitsco, and Rev. So if I open up this Rev Robotics right here, First Tech Challenge FTC, and if I open up kits, look, it's already got parts built into it. Or if I open up structure, channel, all of these parts are already built into it, and I don't have to do anything new for that part. Okay? Same with all these. There's an email to send. I believe it's FTC at PTC, or maybe first at PTC. We'll talk about that, where to send it in class. We're going to create a new document, and you're going to call it import today. We're going to let that load. And then we're going to, instead of drawing and making our own sketch and working in our own part studio to make a part, we're going to go ahead and skip right to the assembly. Now we're in an assembly, and it's a blank canvas, and everything looks similar, but what we're going to do is we're going to insert. Now, your current document, that's what's highlighted. If you had made parts, if you'd done a drawing, all of those would be listed right here. Any part that's worked out in yours, you can bring it over here, and then you can put all those parts together. If I come over here to standard content, if I just want nuts and bolts and screws, that's what standard content is about. Nuts and bolts and screws. Other documents. Here's where we're going to FTC robotics parts users. When you email the other team, you get access to all of this. So let's just open up something old. Let's go to Pitsco here. Let's go to Tetrix part library. Nothing. Let's go to structure. Here we go. Let's just take that flat piece right there. We're going to insert that. And there it is in our document. Okay, we're going to select, and we're just going to click OK for a minute. Couple things. This is just a big blank space. We have no idea. Nothing's going on. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to give me an XYZ, and I can spin this. I can rotate this. I can do all sorts of stuff. I'm going to leave it at 0 degrees right now. But what I'm going to do after I click once, I'm going to go to this circle at the origin, and I'm going to move it to the center of my part. And then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say move to the origin. Now, I know that my one part, the first part I put in here, is at the origin, and then if I click front, top, side, everything's lined up. I can right click on this, and I hit fix. And now this part is stuck. We put it at the origin. The origin's actually on the top surface. It's not really in the middle. It's on the top of this, dead center. And this little mark over here means it's fixed. Cool. Okay, now let's insert other documents. Let's go back through here. Let's go back to Pitsco. Structure. Let's just find, that's an inside corner. Let's find that right there. Insert this connector. Okay. Until I clicked, that was floating around freely. Now, There are several ways to attach these. I can just grab this and try and rotate it, tap, and then type 90, hit enter, and click there, and it's done. Now I know it's rotated 90 degrees, and I can just grab it and try and drag it over there. It's never going to line up perfectly. Okay? These are mates right here across the top. Fastened, revolute, slider, planar, cylindrical, all right, pin and slot, ball socket, all right, and parallel, tangent. Okay, those are it. Then you can also group parts and make them work. You can do all sorts of things here. If I just click first option, I could click parallel, or even let's do planar. And it brings this up. Mate connectors is what it's asking for. If I select the surface of this one, and then it's going to ask, it's still blue here, so I'm going to select the surface of this one. It's wanting a specific spot. I'm going to select right there, and it centered them up. And I could click OK. Now, that looks perfect, looks lined up. You could drop some bolts right through there. Everything's great. That's probably going to work sometimes. But watch this. I can drag this, and as long as they are touching along that face, this mate is still correct, because it just means they have to be on the same plane, that those two things are the same. So we're actually going to delete that constraint. What will be even nicer, if we're going to fasten these and bolt them to each other, the fastened mate is really what you're going to want. Okay? So we're going to grab this guy and move him off just a little bit. We're going to spin back around so we can see what's going on. You are going to select the fastened mate. And then you're going to, it's looking for mate connectors. We're going to zoom in here. And we're going to select 1, 2. Now when I select those two, I need to come over here underneath this guy. And I want to look over here. I want 1, 2. It's going to say fastened, and if it's solve, if you hit solve, it's going to try and fix it. And then you commit. Oh, see, that's an error, because they're on the same surface. Fastened won't do more than one at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. We're going to start over. We're going to hit fastened. And we are going to select there. You see, watch, red, green, and blue. That's important. Make sure it's on the top surface. Then I come over here and I click red, green, and blue. And it is now lined up. Here I can flip it, flip the orientation of the blue axis. Here I can spin the secondary axis, the green and red, 90 degrees. 90 degrees. What's that look like? Let's zoom out a little bit. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, until you get it like you want it, and then you select OK. It's lately in the newest update, it tries to automatically bring up a new fastened. Don't worry about that. Get rid of that. You only want the one. Could you add another one to strengthen this? Because technically right now, you think, maybe I could spin this. Well, you could spin this, except that we locked in the green and red axis. So you really don't need to do more than one on there, because you lock in that green and red axis, so it knows that those two are fastened with the bolt right there, and so you're good to go. These, if you want things that move, you're going to need the sliding ones, you're going to need the planar, you're going to need the cylinders as the sliders. There are lots of different ways to do this, all right? But that's the very basics. That's how to get new content, and that's how to add a mate and fasten things in the assembly. Use parts you've made or pre-done parts through the robot companies. All right, have a good day.